it's really important to have a positive, supportive inner voice and to talk to themselves in a way that's supportive. My brother went to a peace meeting recently at the UN about peace and world peace. And one of the concepts there is to have world peace, we have to have peace within ourselves. I mean, that's where it starts within ourselves.
Absolutely.
We get our inner peace comes with, in part, the words that we tell ourselves.
Hi, I am Donna McDine, and welcome to the Energy of Serenity podcast. Here we unleash empowerment through the power of the word. Join me and my guest as we share stories, tools, and insights to help you feel grounded and aligned. Let's dive in. Welcome, Donna McDine here from the Energy of Serenity podcast. I am over the moon excited to welcome Suzanne Vosburg here tonight, and we are going to be chatting all about her beautiful book. So welcome, Suzanne. How are you?
Thank you. It's so nice to see you. And I just learned I have pronounced your name incorrectly. I've always said it McDine. It's McDine. I apologize.
Many people pronounce it that way, so absolutely no worry.
Okay, thank you.
Before we get underway, I want to formally introduce you to the Energy Serenity podcast listeners. So Suzanne Vosburg is a Ph.D. She works as an associate research director. She's also a freelance writer and photographer, and is part of a teaching team that delivers a research design and analysis class for research fellows as part of their postdoctoral and post-medical school training. Fascinating. I never knew that last part about you. So,
scientist by day, artist by night.
Great. It's beautiful. So welcome, Suzanne.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, delighted. And you are the co-author of Betrayed by Work, Women's Stories of Trauma, Healing, and Hope After Being Fired. Beautiful topic. Beautiful. Oh. So tell me about, and the listeners, the journey and your collaboration on this and why you ventured into this unbelievable topic.
Well, it's a lot of taboo, and I have to, shout out to my co-author, Julia Erickson, who is not here today, but she's awesome. And it's a difficult topic. And we really learned a lot in writing this book. And I guess I would say, first of all, I had suddenly been let go from a job that I'd had for years, that I had built my life and identity around. Really, I had little kids at the time. And I was bereft after that happened. And it was just, a completely shattering experience. And after some time passed and I got up off the floor, I began to wonder, what the heck had just happened? I haven't had a cushy life. I think we've probably all had, issues that have happened. So it's not like I'm a stranger. I'm sorry, I'm fixing my screens. And it's not like I'm a stranger to difficult things, but this one was really hard. And this experience, it brought me to my knees. And a woman, a beloved person in my life, I spoke to at this time, told me, after this had happened, well, everyone that she knew over a certain age, and I can't remember if it's 40 or 50, but everybody had been let go at least once. It's like, this is news to me. I did not know this. And why the heck hadn't anybody told me that?
Just maybe prepare yourself a little bit that it's a possibility.
Yeah. And why wasn't that, openly discussed? And if it's happening to everyone, it doesn't happen to everyone, but if it's a common experience or more common than we think it is, then why was there never any sort of indication about planning for this, or just it's never discussed? And so it felt like a topic in big picture. It felt like a topic that deserved more attention, sort of from the ground up level. And my co-author, Julia Erickson, is a transformative executive coach and amazing presence. And when we talked about this notion, about how difficult this experience is and how underrepresented it is in our general consciousness, and usually if you hear something like that, you're like, what happened? What that person do? She got it and agreed, and that's how we started working on this topic. I'll talk about the taboo part, but I also do want to, I love the energy of serenity idea of uplifting, because one of the things we really wanted to do in this, it's a great word to focus on. And you focus on it, Donna, which is awesome. And we were really concerned when we wrote this book about, people are, oh, those bitchy women, or they've got an axe to grind, or, and it was a real concern that we had, because it was not the case at all. We really wanted the book to be uplifting, and we wanted to share a message of strength with women about how to uplift yourself after a difficult circumstance. And the other real message was, you're not alone. And I mean, I think that's
amazing. That's amazing, because just hearing that other people have walked that similar journey, it gives you that comfort that, oh, it's not just me. Like, what did I do wrong?
Right.
So I love that. I love that you really cultivated that. And I know when I read the book myself, you had like an array of emotions. Even though you weren't those particular women that shared their stories, you had that wave of emotions where you felt, oh my gosh, wow, that really happened to them. But then how they navigated it and came through the other side is beautiful.
Thanks. And I guess I should back up and say that's what this book is about. So Julia and we interviewed about 20 women. We found, and mainly women. We initially were thinking, actually, of an anecdote, which I was recently telling a friend of mine, about this book. And I led in with, well, this experience is really hard for women. And he was like, it's hard for anybody. And I was like, thank you. And so we did include women, mainly because, well, we're women and we knew women. And it was, sort of the easiest sort of, what do you call, convenient sample of people to reach out to. But it affects men, and it is, and it is for men. But we did reach out for women, and we had a series of questions that we asked them. And the questions were about how were you let go? What happened? What sort of led up to it? What happened in the process? And what did you do afterwards? And that's sort of the nature of the book, of the 20 chapters. And then we comment and, write and analyze and think and stuff like that. But that's where we started from. And then we followed up as well. Then we have a little, blurb at the end in terms of what happened to the women afterwards, like after some time had passed.
Right. And that's beautiful too, because when almost you feel like they've shared their story, and then you're like, but wait, what happened with them? How did they recreate their lives? Yeah. And what's amazing too is that some of the women didn't stay in the field that they're originally in, and they recreated. And it's such a beautiful, uplifting way of knowing that, when something so traumatic happens, that you're identified by this is the way you're paying your bills, but you can pivot and recreate. But by sharing these stories and the book, it shows people, like you said earlier, you're not alone. So then it gives you this outreach to be able to make your own community and start doing your own new networking.
Yeah. Or your space.
And being in that comfortable, supportive, safe space to share what your journey's been is just incredible.
Yeah, so I would add there's not a lot of that. I'm just sorry to cut you off. Go ahead. Sorry, first off.
No, I'm thanking you for the beautiful story, because really when people know that there's other places that they can turn to for assistance, it's incredible.
It is, and there are still not a lot of places and people that women will tell you that they can talk to about things like this. So one of the characteristics of this book is that most of the women are using anonymous names. And the reason is because they did not want, some have industries that are very small. Some still felt too ashamed to talk with us or just to, to share. Some just didn't want to. Some of the women that we talked to and reached out to didn't even want to talk to us because it was too raw, or they felt like they were they were in the process of trying to move or pivot or do, other things. And they just were afraid. Really.
Right. And it's such a private, but almost a public feeling of being let go, because all your coworkers, it's that uncomfortableness of it. And many times it's not something that the employee may or may have not done. It's just a restructuring of the company, and you were one of the unfortunate ones to be let go. But it's still so personal and so raw that I completely understand why they did not use their given names, because you don't want to be labeled as, that she was the one that was let go from her job. And you don't want to come across as that you're this emotional woman that had to share her story, because unfortunately there's still stigma on that when women share their story. And there's strength in sharing your story, because and it's like that old adage that a teacher would say to the classroom: don't be afraid to ask your question, because there's other people in the classroom that are thinking the same thing. And when women realize that we can be more uplifting to one another and share our stories and how we came out on the other end, it really raises everyone up that's in that conversation. And so when you were developing the interview questions, were you very intentional with the type of words that you were using for them?
Oh, that's a great question. Yes, I would say in the sense of trying to get down to the essence of what we wanted, of the types of information that we were really looking to seek out. What is it, the 5 W's or the 6 W's? I forget how many there are: who, what, why, when, how, where, it's how's not done, but we were very intentional about trying to capture these experiences in a way that made it clear that we were approaching from a neutral perspective, and that we really just wanted to know what happened because of this interest. It wasn't, so we were very careful with. And what we did is we actually, most conversations just ended up being an interview where the women would just tell us the stories. And so we just, keep going, and just type as much as we could, and then go back and then edit them, and then would share them again to just make sure that we got it right, and that this captured who they were. Sorry, I should say, was captured what happened to them in a way that they felt comfortable with, that it wasn't too identifying.
Right. And that's beautiful. So you weren't only collaborating with your co-writer, you were collaborating with the women that you interviewed as well. So that they opened up that vein and let you in. They shared their story. And I love it that you did it more of a conversational with them, instead of being, okay, my first question is my second question. And I know myself, it's more comfortable that way, instead of, okay, here are the 10 questions, you have to answer these, because then you almost feel like you're being very like robot about it. So that's beautiful, because then it brings, for your writing, their energy into it, because you're getting to know their personality.
Yes.
So it's beautiful how you wove everything like that. I want to share with the listeners a beautiful endorsement of your book by Dr. Mindy Thompson. Full of Love? Is that how you? Okay.
Full of Love, yeah.
And love what she wrote. She said, Suzanne and Julia bravely call for a different kind of world, one in which we think and act from solidarity. Beautiful.
Isn't that lovely?
When you first received that feedback from her, how did that make you feel?
Oh, that was
I mean,
beautiful. She wrote a beautiful foreword. It's also
yeah,
it's a great endorsement. It's on the cover, but her foreword is beautiful, and boy, are we grateful to her for that, because it's she got it, and I think that it. Uh, I'm going to circle back on that idea of getting it,
yeah,
but she really. That is exactly what we were trying to convey, which is, in a sense, and this is going to sound a little trite, and I apologize, but it's the way that I interpret that is that we are acting in ways that we are all connected, and I think that her call and acting in solidarity is acting that we are caring for others as we are caring for ourselves,
yeah,
and we're helping each other achieve our best.
yeah.
And I think that it is when we do that at work and any other place, that we are. It's putting aside the me first mentality, um, and Julia has a great phrase, "Me do it," which always pops into my mind. Um, but it's really saying to take a broader view of that, and to say that what we are all doing, we affect each other, and we all want the same things. I mean, we all want a good job. We want to be treated fairly at our job. We want to be respected at our job. We don't want to be taken advantage of. We all want to provide for our families.
Mhm.
um, there's no difference in that, regardless of what you're doing, really. And
Right,
that sometimes that and I think that sense of solidarity is often lost.
right. And it truly is, especially in the busy world that we live in, with
Yeah.
the news 24/7, the social media, the so-called that you're successful if you're busy
Oh,
24/7,
yeah.
and pulling inward and really taking that time to know that there's more we have in common
Yeah.
than we don't.
Yeah, and
And
slowing
we may
down
look
to, yeah.
differently, our education may be different, we may be in a different field, but like you said, it goes back to that true essence. We
Yeah,
all
I think
really,
so.
truly want the same thing.
Yeah.
And when you throw in understanding from the fellow human being, whether it's male or female, it doesn't matter. It changes that whole outlook at the job and personally as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it when that happens, it's like, it's about time. People are sitting there and actually listening to one another.
Yeah.
And it's okay to have a difference of opinion
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
and really just treating one another with the kindness
Yeah.
that we all deserve to have.
Right. Kindness and respect. That's really what it seems so simple, but we just lose it, I think.
We really do. We unfortunately lose
Yeah.
it on that hamster wheel.
Yeah.
That it's like it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to
Yeah.
slow down. And the beautiful stories these women shared. I just I don't know if they'll ever be listening to this episode, but I really want to thank each and every one of them that shared their story to
Yeah.
Suzanne and Julia and allowed it to become part of this beautiful book. And I have to say the name of the book again so that people really hear it. It's Betrayed by Work: Women's Stories of Trauma, Healing, and Hope After Being Fired. And I love how you really brought the word hope into the title.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We felt really strongly about that,
yeah,
because it's many found their way to hope. And I should also say it is not, uh, perish the thought that this sounds like everybody went through this experience and had a happy ever after ending. It's not that way necessarily. I mean, we really tried to capture real time and real lives what happened,
hmm,
but it did seem to us that when that there is an experience after many women were hopeful after some time had passed and they had had a chance to really, cope with and manage the trauma that they had experienced, that they
right,
were they were able to, and also feel that way towards others.
And then in your own personal experience, Suzanne, if I may, did you feel like there was a mourning period when you were let go?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yes.
right.
Yeah. I'm laughing because that was really hard, and I think that's one of the things that we capture on for a number of people in this collection of stories. That is exactly what people felt
Yeah.
was loss, and and we kind of one of the findings findings that we uncovered in this is that it is a gap in existing literature because was where our thinking started about this is when that happens, you all of a sudden you feel untethered. You're in
Mm.
an emotional space that you don't know, where you're going, or you know where you were, but where you were no longer exists, and now you don't know where you're going. And that's a difficult thing for professional women who have worked, most or all of their lives. Um, and so, yes, I would say that. And one of the other points that we made in this book and that our women have helped us with is that there's an unacknowledged trauma that
Mm.
comes along with this. And it's exacerbated by the way it's done. As you pointed out in the start of this interview, it's often dehumanizing
It
the way
really
that
is.
it happens. It's just when you think about one woman who'd been at a company for years just talks about she got let go and the security guards were there. She'd been there for years and she was like, are you really going to walk out, make me walk out with you? Those
Right.
types of a thing.
Yeah.
It's exacerbated by the way society talks about it or doesn't talk about it because it's all, what happened.
Right.
It's exacerbated by shame because there's a lot of feelings of shame around that go about this. It's exacerbated by the talk of business. Oh, it's only business.
Yeah.
We let people go. It's only business. It's like it's not only business to the person who got let go. It's extremely personal.
Right.
And so that's those were some of the aspects of that experience that we cover.
Yeah. And it's so true. And for many people, like they have their friendships at their
Hmm.
job. We
Yeah.
spend more waking hours
Right.
at the jobs that we do than we do awake at home. And
Right.
then you're not only mourning the loss of your career, your job, however you refer to it, but then those work friendships
Yeah.
that unfortunately many times kind of just dissolve when you walk out that door
Right.
because you're walking in two different directions at that point. So
Right.
there's so many different levels of the mourning of being let go.
Yeah.
And you and Julia did this such justice to bring it forward and really do it in such kindness and loving grace. And it's
Oh.
really felt through that. Um,
That's good. We felt it.
so
We really felt. We uncovered a lot of models that talk about how important belonging is, but
yes.
somehow when all of these processes, when you get cast out and you're alone, it's never. Why is that never considered? Because as you're saying, it's not just the person that it happens to, but it's also the people that are left behind.
Right.
Because then they also have to think about, well, what does that mean for the workplace? What does that mean for, for this position, for the job, for me, if I'm here and that person no longer is, it's
Right.
very difficult.
Yeah. And it's jarring. And it's
Yeah.
really jarring. So, and I know I wanted to really focus on as well about how your life experiences influence your writing, but we really interwove that with the whole book that you've written and that you were brave enough to share that this has happened to you as well. And so I have been on the receiving end of being on the end of the camera where you were taking my beautiful photos that I have.
Yes, they're
So,
lovely.
how did you pivot from your research career, your writing career into photography?
Oh,
Because you're
it's not.
outstanding
Yeah.
in it.
Oh, it's not a
Outstanding.
pivot. It's not a pivot. I'm doing it all. I've got the
Oh, okay,
yours.
great.
One of the gifs on the phone is Donald Duck in the circus with three seals behind him with the balls.
Right.
No,
Right.
I mean I have always photographed. I mean, not seriously, but I just my kids. We went on this vacation once when the kids were little in Cape Cod, and I was in the ocean taking photos of them, and just something happened, and I don't know what. But ever since then, I have just been driven to pursue photography, and so I do what I can to
Beautiful.
learn. I found a wonderful mentor, a handful of mentors, but one who that he works in various locales and places, and I just keep learning, and I love it. So that's how
And
that
it's
came
evident.
about.
And it's evident and I know just from my pictures of how, because I do not like myself on camera. I don't like how I look in photos, but you created such beautiful photos for me.
Oh, well, thank you.
And I'm constantly getting compliments on them.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
yeah, and it
Yay.
was such a fun day.
It was
It
fun.
was such a fun day. And
Yeah.
it just, and for the listening audience, when Suzanne was doing my photos that I'm so happy with, um, it wasn't just I showed up to the studio, sat there for a few minutes, and she took photos, and that was it. We made this fun. Like she made this fun. There was music playing. She had me
Yeah.
bring different outfits with me. We had a makeup artist there,
Yeah, Joanna
and
Taviano.
I
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is like really cool.
It
I'm
was
like,
really
I'm being
cool.
pampered. I'm like, this was, and it was so much fun with the music playing. We weren't rushing. We were just enjoying
Yeah.
and we're chit chatting during it all.
It was really
So,
fun.
yeah, it was just so much fun. So much fun.
Yay.
And I
All right.
remember,
Note that, listeners. Give me a ring.
yes, definitely, absolutely.
Ah,
And
I,
yeah, and so when you are doing photography, and you're envisioning how you want that person situated in the photo and the props that you may be giving them, are you using intentional language with them as well to have them like kind of relax and not be like all stiff and everything? Because I know when we first started, I I was like, oh, okay, I gotta sit still, and you're like, no, and like you really with your calming energy, you really
oh, thanks.
like it gave me like, oh, okay, I'm comfortable here. I'm safe with Suzanne. I can relax a little bit. So,
Oh,
do
that's
you
awesome.
approach that where you really are intentional in the conversation that you have?
I try. I love this. I love this idea of intentional language. It's a great thing. I would say yes, and I'm sure I can do it better. But that's I try to. I think a lot of the people that I've studied with and learned from in photography, many talk about connection, and
Mhm.
that's the gist of it, really. So I think that's what I try to do is, I mean, I try to have fun for myself
Right. Well, you
and
do
to
it
connect.
beautifully. You do
Thank,
it beautifully.
aw,
Yeah,
you're
you
kind.
really do. And
Well, Donna, this is my first podcast doing by myself, and I feel really flattered. Thank you.
you're very welcome.
I'm going to
So,
stop after this one. It's just
no, you do. This has been so much fun because what I really am striving to do with the podcast is it's conversation.
yeah.
And it's
Oh,
just
that's nice.
sharing what we have to say and tossing back questions and everything. So, for the Energy Serenity listeners out there, what is the best way to connect with you and to find your book?
Oh, the book is probably the easiest. Says on Amazon. It's
Okay.
probably Barnes and Noble and Amazon as well, and there may be independent. I think there's an independent bookseller out there. But if you just Google "Betrayed by Work," it's the easiest to find that.
Okay, great.
In terms of me, I have a website, SuzanneVosburg.com, and there's a contact button there as well that you can just
Fabulous.
click, and it's BURG. A lot of people I've done. Couple jobs where it's people try repeatedly and this my name gets butchered, but it's www.suzannevosburg.com. There's also just Gmail, skvosburg.com. Can ask Donna.
And and for the listeners and for you, Suzanne, your contact information is going to be in the show notes.
Oh, great.
So whoever is listening, or if they're watching on YouTube, they can grab that information from the show notes and really connect with you like that. So for those that are listening out there, do you have a portfolio online as well on your website, Suzanne?
Yes.
So they can see your work?
Yep.
Great.
Some of it's there and there's a lot that's not. So if people are looking for something, and I'm on Instagram. I forgot. I'm also on Instagram. So
and what's your handle?
At Suzanne Vosburg.
Okay, great. So fabulous. Yeah. Excellent. Excellent.
I actually, I wanted to talk about I had two other things I wanted to talk about that based on your questions that you were,
great.
I'm not sure. Are we on for does it matter how long we talk or?
Yep. Let's keep talking.
Oh, very good. Okay. So I thought if we were running out, I've got to get those points in, but
we're good. We are good.
I want to say that it was really hard for us to get this book published. Okay. It was really hard. And the only reason that we ended up getting it published, I feel like, is because we wrote to a lot of agents and we wrote to a lot of, just trying to figure out what to do. We got very, very lucky in that we met an acquisitions editor who had been let go from another job. Oh, and she was the only person who got it. And so I feel like this is really an important point about this topic is that sometimes people don't really understand it until they have met somebody who's been let go or it happens to them. And that's what we found. Like one person wrote back, oh, what did these women do to, be put in this situation? Nothing.
Nothing. Did their job.
Yeah. So it's a really, that was very striking. I think the world of publication is really hard. I have another friend who's got a great book and she can't get it published. And so I know that I do not know a lot about it. So I'm just going to say for us, we got lucky in the sense of meeting somebody who really understood what we were trying to do. Right. And I also want to point out, by the way, our cover, because we have are so happy that we have a large mix of all sorts of people. And we were afraid that initially the woman on the front was white. Okay. And notice how she's got, colored legs and colored face and stuff. And we really wanted to make sure it's not just, us white women who are out talking about this. This is really an issue that cuts across everything, cuts across professions, cuts across race, everything.
Absolutely. So, unfortunately, there's not one person that's immune to it.
Right.
And so that's beautiful that you really pointed that out, that this is not just for a small segment. This is for the broader package, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it really does give hope when you read these.
Yeah.
And I almost, you were meant to have that acquisition person that you connected with, because you want someone that's going to be just as emotionally invested in your manuscript that becomes the book as you are as the author with Julia, because you want someone that gets it.
Right.
Because then it changes everything then.
Yeah. I ran into another woman friend of mine at a volleyball tournament, no less, but we were just talking about this and I don't remember how it came up, but she had been let go. And I said, oh, you got it. You've got to read this. And she bought it and she said, oh my gosh, I wish I had had this so much earlier. It really helped. And that was perfect. Like that was enough. That's what we were really trying to do, is get the book into the hands of women or anyone, not just women, but, women or men who have this happen and are struggling with what to do with all these feelings and what to do when you're in that emotional space and you feel really untethered and you're not, the door closes and the window opens. Okay. Yeah. But there's a long, dark hallway in between those two things sometimes, and and that's what we were really trying to address.
Well, you certainly addressed it, and you addressed it
Yeah.
beautifully. And I love the idea that when you're out and about in your daily life, you're talking to people about this beautiful book. You're not jamming it down their throats, but if a conversation ensues,
If it
you're like,
comes up.
hey, wait,
Yeah.
and you're meant to cross paths with these different people in this walk of life that we're on, that, hey, I have a resource for you.
Yeah.
And it's not just because I'm the co-author of the book, because the people in the book will give you hope.
Yeah. Yeah.
Will give you hope.
I had some I had some extra copies. And so those little libraries that people,
Yes.
lending libraries. So I thought, okay, I'm a horrible marketer. And so I thought, okay, this is how I'm going to market. I'm going to put my book in these little lending libraries. They all disappeared. There's no there's no extra, money coming in from that at all. But it's putting it out in the world. It's
Right.
they
And
get taken.
putting it out in the world, definitely.
That's really the
The
most
next time
important.
you do that, when you place those books in those lending libraries
Mhm.
that people have, and some offices have them, where, like, whether chiropractor or
Or little
doctor's office,
libraries. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you should leave a note in there and say, if you're so inclined, please leave an Amazon book review.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
Cool.
You can even write it on the inside of the cover and sign the book and say, if you're
Oh,
so
yeah.
inclined. Yeah, because they were sparked to pick it out of the other 10 books that are usually in those little lending libraries.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
the little doors. Yeah,
Yep.
that's really
Oh,
cool.
that's a
That's
great
a great
idea.
idea, Donna. Thank
I love
you.
it. I
Yeah.
love it. And before I forget, Sparkle Bookstore is down in Spark Hill now. Have you been in?
I have. Oh,
Good.
yes, I like that bookstore a lot.
Great. Yeah, it's a beautiful
Yeah,
concept that she has there.
yeah, it's a great collection. They're really, and I should go in
Yes.
and inquire.
Right. You really should.
Have you
Definitely.
been to, there's the other bookstore in Northvale. Have you ever been, I mean, have you ever had your book? And you're a children's author. You're a children's book
Yes.
author,
Yeah.
right? Do
Books
you?
and Greetings. Rita and I, several years ago, did a book signing event there for
Oh,
Angels Forever Home.
oh,
Yeah.
nice.
And that went really nice there.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
So that'd be worth for you to
Yeah.
walk into there
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
So before we
Anyway,
conclude tonight, Suzanne, is there anything else you want to share with the listeners?
one of the questions you asked about me was about the intent of words with my young adult children.
Yes.
So I do not know. I wanted to meditate on that with you, actually. So I started by just sort of saying, well, for me, writing, if I really need to understand something, I need to write it. I need to write it. I need to write because it's the only way I can, clarify
Process it.
my
Yep.
thoughts, right? That's kind of the way. And to do that, you have to, the mind, can generate tons of ideas, but to focus them and to sit down and get them out and to get beyond the, well, this really sucks phase, you have to just keep going. And I tell my kids that this is the hardest part of anything that they have to do is to start and to organize. And I encourage them to read, which is learning style dependent. And one likes to read, one doesn't, and it's a learning style thing. And so, but then the power of the word also goes beyond reading, because it's also, I think what you're getting at is how we talk to ourselves. And
Yes.
so I think that
Most
that's something with
definitely.
young adults. One of the phrases I always think about is like, we do not should on ourselves, in terms of, right, we should, we should do this. We don't
Right.
should on ourselves. But I also tell the kids that it's really important to have a positive, a supportive inner voice, and to talk to themselves in a way that's supportive,
Right.
but I don't know I don't know what that means to a young adult. I mean, I don't know if
I
that's,
know.
if,
I know.
and if, my brother my brother, this is getting back to it. My brother went to a meeting recently at the UN about peace and world peace. And one of the concepts there is to have world peace, we have to have peace within ourselves. I mean, that's where
Oh,
it starts, within ourselves.
absolutely.
And we get peace from the words. Our inner peace comes with, in part, the words that we tell ourselves. And okay, as a older person, I can get and I understand. I try to work with that, and I don't always do it well. But with kids, I don't really know how to say that to them other than to support yourself, be kind to yourself, stay on your path.
Yes,
Don't keep your words about you and where you're headed, and keep your eye on that. But I don't know. I
absolutely.
don't know.
I
That's
call it slaying the inner naysayer,
oh
because the
yes,
way we speak to
yeah,
ourselves, we would not talk to other people like that.
right,
And we have to be, and that's where it starts.
yeah,
Start speaking kindly to yourself.
yeah.
That's beautiful that you're instilling that on your young adult children,
I don't know if I
whether
am.
we know or not at that given moment that it's actually penetrating their brain. At
Yeah,
least we're sprinkling those seeds of positivity
that's
for
right.
them.
Yeah, that's
And
yeah.
all of a sudden they'll come out in conversation one day and you'll be like, yes, they were listening.
Oh, I hope so, Donna.
It will. It'll happen. It'll happen. So, Suzanne, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for you joining me
Oh, thank
today.
you, Donna.
And I'm so excited that when this will get to air, and I will be back in touch with you when we
Okay,
have a date, and I'll give you all the promo information and the images that goes along with it, and we'll
great.
promote away
We'll
together.
promote
So I
away.
want to thank you for your beautiful time and your beautiful presence here tonight. So
Oh,
thank you, thank you, thank
well, thank
you.
you, Donna. This has been wonderful. Thank you. It's really fun.
I'm so happy. So
Uh,
happy you've enjoyed it.
yeah. All right. Well, I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, take care.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you for joining me on Energy is Serenity. I appreciate you taking the time to explore the power of the word, mindfulness, and calming practices with me. If today's episode resonated, please subscribe and consider leaving a review. Until next time, may your energy be serene and your words be empowered. Namaste.